Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the all JuveCast fan focus episodes, and it's episode 3, and I got my man Eric joining me. Eric, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm hanging in there.
Oh, that's good, man. That's good, man. So, what have you been up to, man? No Juve. I know we're all crazy missing it. How you been
No,
keeping?
so I'm one of the essential workers in the industry in which I work. So not too much of a lifestyle change for me. I still get to go to work. So I put in my time there. I come home, do my thing here, and just try to maintain a healthy lifestyle. So
Yeah.
still stay pretty busy.
That's good. That's good, man. And yeah, I just been. Well, everybody knows what I've been doing. The classic recaps. These just to give people a fun little healthy distraction, and it's given me a lot of time to work on the striped hearts project. So if people aren't, follow striped_hearts on Twitter, and check out the drop. Everything should be arriving this upcoming weekend, and then we'll start getting those orders out. So that'll be awesome. But yeah, for those of you who are strangers to the podcast and maybe don't know who Eric is, Eric, give us your full name and tell us about what you actually do for work, being considered
So
essential services.
name's Eric. Last name is Acerno Gibbs. Was born in Monroe Regional Hospital here in Florida. And then what I do for a living is I am actually a sales rep for the world's largest online retail store for truck parts. So I sell a lot of the aftermarket truck parts to truck drivers, big rigs, stuff like that. Not a sexy job, but it's a great company, and I'm pretty good with the sales. So it's pretty nice. It's just kind of my niche.
That's good, man. That's good, man. So it's all heavy duty trucks?
Mostly heavy duty, very, very little inventory on some of the like medium sized and heavy duty pickups. So
Yeah.
most of what I deal with are all 18 wheelers. At first, it wasn't something I was interested in, but as you kind of learn about the inventory and products, you kind of learn about the trucks and your growth and the fundamental knowledge of how these things are actually ran. And it's pretty interesting, man. It's at the very least, it's been interesting.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Yeah, it was. I used to work at a heavy duty shop for a while, and it was. Yeah, it was pretty fun. It was always nice to go out there and play with the equipment too. Like we were at loaders and excavators and stuff like that. So that's pretty sweet. And if you're strong with the sales, man, I know the
Give to the
guys
gap.
don't have matches and stuff going up, but Juve's got to get you on board and maybe let's start moving some players in with those parts. We'll see.
That's what I do, man. I got the gift of the gab. I've had it for years. Managing, overlooking. I've done with my personal training. I've done like over 100 portfolios with other retail stores, and inventory. I think we can find a place for me
That's
on that
pretty cool.
squad.
That's pretty cool, man. So you do personal training as well, eh?
I did that for a long time. I did that professionally, if you want to call it that, for about 6 years. Found out how low the ceiling was for that, and in which the location that I'm in.
Yeah.
So I found a different
Yeah.
avenue, and then I still actually have a few clients that I keep around. So I use it as supplemental income.
Yeah. That's cool, man. That's awesome. That's really, really cool. So let's get into the Juve side of things. How long have you been a Juventino?
2006, I would say, is when I really kind of got on board. Wasn't always a huge soccer fan, just honestly, but about 2006 is when
Yeah.
I really fell in love with Juventus.
And this is like cool because obviously that's the year we hit Serie B and whatnot, Calciopoli and stuff. So this is awesome because a lot of the guests I've had, they're either prior to that, long prior, or they're coming in pretty new. So what was it like joining at that time? Like what drew you in to Juve in '06 in a year where Calciopoli took place and we got relegated?
I guess the good thing was I didn't know any different, so when I was coming in, it just seemed like this was how it works, and I'm learning how the league is set up, and I'm understanding how they play, and from a domestic standpoint, and and everything like that. So for me, it wasn't shocking because I
Yeah.
thought this is just kind of how it went. But the players, you know, for those who do know me, you probably have a little bit of a window into just my mentality, the way that I think. And I found a lot of similar characteristics between just my mentality and some of the mentalities of the players that stayed. And that's why it grew on me. I saw a lot of good things in the players who stayed.
Cool. So yeah, the next question was how you became a Juventino. So it was because of the players. And what are some of these characteristics that kind of drew you in? And obviously, we know the key guys that stayed behind there. You know, you had Buffon, Nedved, Camoranesi, Trezeguet, and Del Piero. Some like to talk about Chiellini as well, but I mean, he was really 1 year into his Juve. So we kind of not at that status, but those five at the status they were huge, right? So what are some of the characteristics drew you in?
You know, for me, it just proved that it's about the loyalty, it's about the club, it's about the badge, and I'm the same way. When you wear that, you represent so much more than yourself. You represent the people who played and wore that badge before you. I just have a very, very stern belief on that. When you wear a jersey, there's so much responsibility that comes with it. So to have guys, I know later on in the questionnaire it's going to ask who my favorite player is, and I might as well just let it out the
That's
bag
the
now.
next question, actually. So let's
Um,
get to it.
Gianluigi Buffon, and he is hands down my favorite athlete of any sport in all time of all time. And I
Wow.
think a lot of that is due to just the type of man that he is, the type of athlete that he is. It's very, very difficult, I think, to find that type of person and athlete combined in the same one body. So
Very, very cool. Very, very cool and well said. Yeah, I mean, Juventini have been blessed with a plethora of amazing players to come through our ranks, but yeah, there was still the select few that actually, bled the black
yeah.
and white, and were those Ben Yedder, and he's definitely one. So that's fantastic. Um, let's get to who your least favorite Juve player so far in your time of supporting would be. Let's get a change of pace here.
Probably Zabina.
So, this is like the third episode. I think every single one was like Zabina. That's hilarious. Who's your least favorite on the current roster?
That's tough because now we're talking about what I use and what my parameters are to define least favorite player. Um, so depending on what that encompasses, I would probably put, and I'm going to get crucified for this. I'm probably going to put Pjanic on there. I would probably put DeCilio on there.
Yeah,
I think those would be my main two.
yeah. I mean, that's. I don't think you're really gonna get crucified for it. I mean, I think everybody was hanging on for Pjanic, just hoping he'd get back to what he can do. It just hasn't worked out, but I don't think you get crucified for that one. Who's the most underrated Juve player in your time of supporting the club that you would say?
That one's tough too. I think Zambrata probably.
You think
Just
Zambrota was
what he
underrated?
Yeah, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but was Pipo still there? Was Inzaghi still there in 2006, 2007?
No,
Okay.
Inzaghi was gone at that point.
I think to me, if you take away the time that I came in
Yeah,
and just through my own research, and I looked at a player that was underrated, I would actually put Inzaghi on there as underrated.
underrated for his time at Juve. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It was Inzaghi was great to watch for Juve. We just recapped a classic match. Was the 04-05 Juve against Milan, and Inzaghi, he came in. I don't know why on earth he wouldn't have started that game, but he came in and he was always in the right spot, causing all sorts of problems for Juve. But yeah, he was cool. We had him for a short time at Juve, but yeah, it was probably something I think we all would have hoped would have lasted a little longer. Zambrotta, he obviously left in '06,
Yeah.
but He was unbelievable. He was the full package. I mean, you talk about an offensive fullback that could play defense with the best of
Yeah.
them. Unreal. Zambrotta has always been one of my favorites. Um, if you could spend a day with either a former or current Juve player, and you got to choose what you two would do, who would you pick and why, and what would you guys do?
I think it's that choice is pretty easy for me. I'm going to go with my favorite player and athlete of all time. I'm going to go with Buffon.
Yeah,
And as far as what we do, I mean, I feel like we would just sit in a room, have a glass of wine, and I would just want to hear him talk. Like, I'm so fascinated just by the way that he thinks, the way that he views things, his perspective on life. And he's just one of those people that I feel like you need to be able to talk to him just about how his experiences have molded him. And that's what I would do. I would just talk to him about not the sport.
yeah,
I want to talk to him about life.
yeah.
And that's what I do.
That's cool, man. That's cool. But then you guys do take a quick little drive to the park, and you got to try and score one PK on Gigi.
At least one. If I do 100, I get to take that with me. That's all that matters.
Yeah, that's awesome. Let's get into kits. What's your favorite Juve jersey? So you joined in '06. Lots of good options. You're still very familiar with the classics and whatnot. Yeah, what style did you like the best? What was your favorite kit?
It's funny because '06, '07 is probably my second favorite, but the aesthetically speaking, 2017, 2018 is probably my favorite. They found a way to modernize the old school look
Yeah,
and really put everything together. It's very fluid.
yeah.
It comes together very well. So
It was
2017,
it had it all. It was
yeah,
awesome. I mean, I think that was also the I think it got some heat just because of the badge. That was when they unveiled the new badge, the new J logo. But that
yeah.
kit was a perfect blend of modern and vintage. Had the thick bands around the cuffs on the sleeves. Had the nice button-up collar up top and stripes, and no box around the Jeep logo. I mean, had it all. It's a
Yeah.
class kit. So yeah, that's a
I
solid
did
solid
not
pick.
like the back of the jersey. I think if you would have put 2018, 2019's back on 2017's jersey, like hands down, that would probably be the most aesthetically pleasing one that they've made
Yeah.
to me.
I didn't mind the back. I didn't mind it with just the black with the numbers there on the back. I thought it was all right. Um, the new one seems a little bit weird with the box in the back is kind of
It took me
weird.
a long time to try to understand exactly what it was that they were doing because the
Yeah,
black portion of that looks like it's blocked down a little. It was
it's
really weird.
weird.
I was like, why did they do that? But
Yeah,
it's because it's halved, so it's just the
yeah.
black looks like it's extra.
I don't even. I saw a mock-up of some. I don't know if I think it was the third kit leaked for next year, and it looks
The long
like
sleeve.
uh, some orange cheetah print thing.
Oh, yeah, like Papa Chester threw up all over it because that
Yeah,
looks.
yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah,
crazy. It's crazy. Hopefully, it doesn't end up being anything like it. But the guys that post that, they're pretty solid. They've been accurate like years in a row. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. So, in your time as a supporter, let's get to one of your favorite moments, like just a moment that sticks out to you as your time as a supporter, maybe with another group of supporters or something that maybe brought you closer to somebody with involving Juve, just a cool story or moment.
I feel like as far as just a moment goes, that's not goal related, but just Juventus related, is being in Torino while there's a match going on. God bless his heart. Maurizio tried his damnedest to help me to get tickets. Me and my fiance worked tirelessly to be able to get tickets um, to go to the match, but for some reason we just could not purchase tickets through this app that you actually have to purchase them through. And one of the main reasons why we went to Torino was because she knew that I'm a huge fan, so we wanted to go to a match. Never did. So we did the next best thing. We were able to go to the restaurant across from our hotel. They had it playing on the TV, and just so being surrounded by locals who also didn't make it to the match, but just being there in support and knowing that they're playing right up the road, that's a moment that's going to stick with me for probably the rest of my life.
Well, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Um, and what was it like in there with the locals? Shed some light on that atmosphere.
I mean, when I'm here, I'm in Florida and there's far and few between supporters here. So in most cases, I'm usually watching the game by myself, as I'm sure most of the fans, on this side of the globe are. But to be in a room full of people who share the same passion and joy and love for the same one team, it's really cool, to be able to do that. It happens at other sporting events that we get to go to here in the States, but to have that one is special.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome, man. That's pretty cool. Um, if you played for Juve, what number would you wear? Why would you choose that number?
23, and that is just it was. I was born on the 23rd. It's just been my favorite number. It's mainly because of that. It's just I was born on the 23rd, and then everything 23 related would be my number. So thank you, Emery Chan, for leaving that behind.
For relinquishing it? Yeah, nice. What position would you play?
I would play Mezzala. I have the conditioning, I have the speed to be box to box, but you know what? I never want to be around the goal. I'm not that guy. I'm the guy that like I want to be able to distribute the ball to the person who can put the ball in the back of the net. So
Nice,
put me on the wing, utilize my speed and my conditioning, and that's where I would play.
nice. Well, what the heck are we waiting for? Metzal, that's a spot we need to boost for a couple of years here. Let's go.
No
Personal
one's gonna
trainer,
give.
like fit,
Yeah.
speed,
No,
let's go.
I don't know if they'll invest in a 29-year-old Florida, but maybe we can make something happen.
Man, I'm pushing on 36 this year and I'm still keeping the dream alive.
Don't ever let it go, man. You got to hold on to it.
Yeah. Just waiting for that call in Kamloops, BC. Just hey, we need you. Okay.
You know what? With my experience, though, with being a performance coach and working with athletes and stuff like that, it's kind of funny because I've always felt like if they need, I wanted to train the players. I stepped away from training because there really was no means to an end as far as just the financial support.
Yeah.
But I see what they're doing. I see how Maurizio's staff they work with the players. I saw how Max's staff works with the players, and I feel like with my knowledge that I have, I could at least keep some of the players healthy. Like I feel like I can really help Douglas Costa, but I have no way of getting that information to them.
Yeah. Well, with Costa, you got a shot through Instagram. I mean, that's true. He looks like he's more of an Instagrammer than a footballer. He's all over that damn thing.
He's not spending a lot of time on the pitch anymore. So.
Yeah. What? So, um, we talked about position you play, be Metzal. So let's go like this. Eric Caserno Gibbs scores a goal. What's the celebration song? What would it be in the stadium?
Uh, this would be a rendition that I've probably come up with because I think everybody at some point in time has said, if I had to walk down as a wrestler, what would my entrance music be? So I kind of did the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So it would probably be the beginning soundtrack of The Godfather, and then out of nowhere, there would just be nothing but bass coming through. Just something to kind of like get me going. Like I would
Nice.
want the entire crowd to pop up. So just imagine a very rap-esque Godfather themed song.
There you go. Cool. That's pretty cool. I can get behind that. I can get behind that. So now let's share a moment. Like, what's one of your favorite moments in your time as a supporter that you witnessed either live or on TV? Like, just a moment that sticks with you. It doesn't have to necessarily be a goal. It could be anything. Big save could just be a celebration. What's a moment that stands
Well,
out
it
to you?
would definitely be the elation of a few matches. A few of them that stick out was our second leg against Tottenham. in 2016, 2017 for
Yeah.
um, just seeing that happen. Obviously, our match against Barcelona where we won 3-0, 2000, I think 2016. Um, I would have to say our match against Atletico at home last year, and that seems to be. I know a lot of supporters who have been supporters for a very very long time, and that match actually comes up to them. So I know that that match itself is a
Yeah.
very historic match for Juventus in general, and I'm really happy to be part of the club, or watching the club and witnessing that. So those were the three that I think have just stood out to me.
That's awesome.
Uh, and then, of course, there was the 3-0 until the 90th minute match against Madrid in
Yeah.
Madrid, because that we did for a split second, we did the impossible. And
Yeah.
I just remember I was really at the highest of highs when that happened.
Yeah, that was crazy. That come up on the last one with Ron Rusitano as well, and he said, despite the ending, what happened there was absolutely incredible, and nobody saw it coming, and it was wild, man. That was a wild roller coaster of a match. Absolutely incredible. Sucks that it ended that way, but still, probably not a lot of clubs that can do that, So that was pretty sweet. Goals. Let's get into your favorite goal. What's one that just sticks with you?
One that just I constantly go back to is I can't remember the opponent for some reason, but it was the goal that Danny Alves made from the parking lot when was it Olympique or Leo? Was it?
Oh, the
It was
coast to
Champions
coast.
matches. Yeah, and he just booted that thing from midfield and just it was almost it almost resembled Pavard's goal at the World Cup,
Man,
and
I'm trying
that
to
one
think
was
of this
just
goal.
that one always sticks with me because I mean he literally just put his laces through it, and it was from very far away.
Yeah, I'd have to dig that one up. My memories deceive me too, but that's cool, man. That's cool. That one hasn't come up. Well, that's sweet. So yeah, that's kind of all the questions we had. It's pretty cool to get a look into that. That Alves goals kind of come up out of nowhere. Everybody kind of goes with these. It's hard too when you think about goals because everybody usually thinks with the freshest in mind, right?
Right.
And I don't know, man. It's just I guess maybe now because I've been watching classics since we've been out of football, but there's some of these Del Piero ones that come up that are just I still find myself watching them over and over, just thinking how did he do that? Crazy volley. Can't remember the opponent. Just a crazy over the top ball. He's running onto and he's looking back shoulder, and the second it drops, he pokes it and it goes short side in the corner, and it's just to for me to be able to even settle that ball is a skill, but to have to be looking one way, hit this thing on a volley and put it right in the damn corner is just crazy. That goal is just
Yeah, I'm I'm gonna put the ball in the locker room, so it does
oh
take a lot of talent to be able to do that.
unbelievable, unbelievable. And then of course there was a question that come up on Twitter, and it was just about who free kicks rank. Del Piero, Pirlo, Dybala, Pjanic, and Ronaldo for your free kick takers. And I said, well, for me, it's at the top, you've got Pirlo and Del Piero, and I put them almost smack dab even. But when you start thinking about Pirlo's free kick goals and even Del Piero, the one with Del Piero that stands out to me is that free kick he scored against Merda late in the match, and
Yeah.
he just goes on that run celebrating it. And then for one about a second and a half or so, he's got both arms locked, tongue out, and the jersey's just flapping in the wind and his hair is just flowing back. And I'm like, that is just an iconic picture for me, and I always have that one in my brain. He totally froze. I think it was Julio Cesar in net at that time, just totally froze him, like bang in the corner, clutch moment. Like those guys are huge. And then Marquisio's goal stands out too. That one against Merida as well, when he was in tight on the rebound and he had the wherewithal to like beat a guy and then chip the keeper from in tight. Sick goals. But yeah, that's yeah. There's so many. There's so many. Can't really go wrong. But yeah, that's it for our fan focus questions. I want to know if you have any questions for me.
No, I mean at the top of my head, I feel like at this point, I'm gonna just put you back through the ringer. Probably ask you something a lot
No
of other
worries.
people have asked. So
That's all good, man. That's all good. We got through all the questions we wanted to. It was awesome getting some insight on what you do, who you are, what you're all about, and the. It's interesting always to hear from fans, but especially when you come in at the '06 point. That's pretty cool. Um, Now, is there anything you want to leave the listeners with? Any final thoughts or words? It's a kind of a weird time right now, and we're just trying to offer up some healthy distractions for people. You got any
yeah,
message?
I mean I feel like we're all trying to do the best we can with what we got. I know it's a weird time, and it's put us in an odd position, and it's aggravating and it's frustrating, and you're getting angry, and you got to keep your head down. Got to and for me, because where I'm located, it might be a lot easier for me to do that versus where other people are located, and things are a lot worse than where they are. So, trying to stay busy, maintain a healthy lifestyle as much as you possibly can. I was just telling Al that, if there's a way that we can figure out how to set up some form of a FIFA tournament on Xbox, just something that would allow us to engage, I think would alleviate a lot of frustration, aggravation, and keep us kind of through this time. You got to figure out what can you do to pass the time
Yeah,
for some people who aren't working. So for me, I still get to work, but being able to engage with other fans would be something that I would be absolutely interested in, and I would help whatever that means.
yeah. Well, that's great, and I'm all for it. I've posted my gamer tag. I'm also on Xbox, and I'll do it again in the post for this session. And yeah, anyone out there that wants to just add me, and then we'll hook it up, and we'll set some games up just to get together and hang out and take our minds off it and have some fun and play some FIFA. But that's great. Yeah, I think it's very very important to try to not dwell in what's going on and just be completely surrounded by it. Keep up the healthy lifestyle the best you can. Been working out at home. It's home workouts, but just keep eating right. Just try to be as healthy as possible. Don't let it. I know that depression and anxiety is cranking up with all this that's going on with a lot of people, and I opened up my DMs to anybody that needs to reach out and just wants to talk non-Juve. Sometimes all it takes is just a set of ears, just to listen, and people can let those thoughts and feelings out, and it might be easier the fact that we've got just this relationship through Juve, and there's nothing deeper, because sometimes it's harder to talk to those people, right? So if anybody out there requires any of that, I'm here for you all, and yeah. I hope you guys enjoy these fan focuses. I'm having a great time doing them. Please reach out on Twitter. Just search all JuveCast. You'll find me there, and I'd love to hear from more of you. And we are doing the classic recaps as well. So if you want to recap a match that means a lot to you, just pick one. Hit me up. I'll watch it. You'll watch it, and then we'll reminisce about those memories. Thanks again, everybody. And thank you very much, Eric, for doing this. And until next time, everybody, Forza Juve, fino alla fine. Ciao.
Ciao.